Of April 2025. Good morning to you, the GIC viewers and listeners within and beyond the borders of the Republic of Namibia, and a very warm welcome to your Friday morning edition of the Offices, Ministries and Agencies Information Sharing Session, coming to you live from the Government Information Center studio. That is with me, Hileni Felipus Hamunyela. For this morning's episode, I am joined in the studio by a team of well-versed representatives from the Rehoboth Town Council, and they are here to help us unpack the Rehoboth Town Council's achievement during the period under review. But that's not all that there is. There is more to the topic. As is the norm, I'd like to pause here and invite you, Namibia, to be part of this discussion by following this communication or our platform on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. On Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or alternatively, you can stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. Be part of this conversation by posting your questions in the comment sections on our social media platforms. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my studio guest for this morning, Honorable Jackie Jackson Kariseb. He is the councillor in the Rehoboth Town Council under the portfolio Public Relations, Corporate Affairs, Land, Investor Relations Management at the Rehoboth Town Council. Quite a mouthful, but welcome, Honorable Kariseb. Happy to have you back at the GIC.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We are also joined by Ms. Desire Peters. Or is it Desire or Desiree? Anyone, okay. Okay, I'll Desire you this morning. So I'm joined by Ms. Desire Peters. She is the Public Relations Officer at the Rehoboth Town Council. Ms. Peters, once again, welcome back to the GIC.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Now, Honorable Kariseb, the last time when you were here, we spoke about the lineation scheme. Briefly, just give us a background for those that weren't watching then, what the discussion was about.
Good. When we came back to actually account for what we did of the alienation scheme and many other projects that as council we are mandated to do. We are so grateful that we would like to give a positive report of the alienation scheme. We are able to get a success story of people getting title deeds in Block E, specifically after 43 years. And the then minister, Honorable Erastus Utoni, witnessed, or he facilitated the process through the finance manager, the then finance minister, and the then Prime Minister, and then we were able to write off the debts, and people received title deeds, and a ceremony was held in Rehoboth, and Honorable Erastus Utoni and the former Governor Mendoza Pral were part of the celebrations of that joyous day, where we were able to give ownership and title deeds to our community members. So the alienation project is done, and all that we are now busy with is just getting the other people the title deeds, because it's a lengthy process of just bureaucracy. So all the beneficiaries were approved to receive the title deeds, and it's a success story. We are done with that.
Happy to hear. As I mentioned on that specific day when you were here, I was so proud to be Namibian. I still am, and especially now that you are back to give us positive feedback. Now, Ms. Peters, what legacy is this project going to leave behind?
This is quite a big stride in terms of independence, because the history of these people, how they have been reallocated these plots from where they were and where they are now. And after 45 years, 45 to 46 years, now they have ownership, and you should have been there to have seen what the impact of it on the elderly people especially, and also the younger people where the parents are already deceased or the great-grandparents are deceased now. The younger people has inherited these houses. So basically this is one of the major achievements of the current council, that they have given back the people their dignity and a shelter. And these are basically why we are there, to instill dignity and provide shelter and basic services to our people. So the debts are written off, and all of them have started from zero. And currently, if my memory serves me right, we've allocated 379 title deeds already. So the process will be finalized very soon. The education process is ongoing at the finance department, where we educate the people on staying out of debt.
Absolutely.
So yes.
Okay, happy to hear that as well. Because that was also one of the highlights of the alienation scheme, whereby the debt is written off.
Yeah.
What an exemplary, notable, initiative. Now, Ms. Peters, I'm made to understand that there is a Block E satellite office. Briefly talk to us, how is this office benefiting the residents of the Block E?
This opening of the satellite office also coincides with the alienation scheme. Because, like I mentioned, it's most of our residents in Block E, in that specific area, are elderly people. And sometimes they were challenged to visit the municipal office in town. It's far. So this has also been one of the initiatives of Councillor Jackie.
Okay.
He was the one behind the introduction and the pushing of administration to open this satellite office. So now we are operational about a month now, and the people are making good use of it. We have a staff member, the finance department has basically allocated staff members there, and the payment of accounts and mostly prepaid services are now accessible in Block E.
Okay.
The PR office is supposed to move at least twice a week to maybe oversee and get inquiries or complaints.
Yeah.
But we've not started yet. It still needs a lot of planning.
Okay.
So, but the doors are open now, and it's really also one of our major achievements for 2025.
Okay.
We brought services closer to the people.
Absolutely. So for interest's sake, who is now, situated in that satellite office? Who resides there?
The official or?
Yeah.
It's, we have Ms. Mendy. We
Okay.
only call her Ms. Mendy. She
Okay.
is now operating there. And sometimes I think our IT, Mr. Jaffet is also there. And the finance manager, Mr. Tron, is also doing daily visits.
Okay.
Since we have, it's not fully functional yet.
Okay.
So we are still moving in and out
Okay.
from head office to the satellites until everything is running smoothly.
Absolutely. Now, Ms. Peters, is this going to be a long-term arrangement or is it just short-term?
No, it is long-term. We are looking at opening a bigger office, a fully fledged office in Block E, because the town is growing.
Absolutely.
And with the formalization of most of the townships there, Block E will require another office. So yes, it's not, we are small now, but the council is planning to go bigger.
Yeah.
Just to add to that, the expansion of the town is at a rapid pace.
Okay.
So we're looking at the town. There is Block G, there is Volkshuisvlakte, Burgershoek. So we are looking at bringing services closer to the people, and then it's not Block E, it's just a testing.
Okay.
So we will be moving towards that side of Burgershoek and also Volkshuisvlakte. If we can open satellite office there, that is the main aim of the council, to bring services closer to the people.
Absolutely. I mean, for the financial implications, if somebody does not have taxi fare to go to town, then at least service is indeed brought closer to them. Okay. Now, away from that, Honorable Karisab, the land management and investor relations. Please share with us your current initiatives in terms of land management and attracting investment to your town, especially with regards to your current visit to Windhoek. I understand you are here on a mission.
Yes, it's exciting times to be part of Namibia. It's a new government. It's a woman-led government with so much capabilities, and we see the potential of how this is going to be a good thing for Namibia. So, as local authorities, we are the third-tier government. That is the grassroots, closer to the grassroots people, and then we need to align. So our aim as Riebehoff Town Council is to move with what the government offers, central government offers, and we align our duties and mandate to those of the country. We align our duties to the NDP 6, that is now the NDP 6, and then we develop our strategic plan from the NDP 6, and then we have our annual plans, and then we also like to get into the local authority itself, the performance management system, so that we can help people accountable. It's not about just becoming a councillor.
Right.
It's about getting the mandate and account for what you're supposed to do, and that is our aim now. Here we are very aggressive as Riebehoff Town Council under the portfolio, which is now attracting investment to our town. And once the budget was announced, we saw the potential, and then I briefed the officials, and then I said we need to grab this. And Riebehoff has a vast land available,
right.
So we are lobbying with our land. And one of the things that we have took note was that there are 4 stadiums to be built besides the one that needs to be built in Windhoek. And we are strategically located as Riebehoff. So we are lobbying with our land. We can allocate land. So come build, so that when we have tournaments, FCONs and what you have, some of the teams can be located in Riebehoff. It's very close. And then they can come back. So that we are lobbying, and I've also seen that the Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture, I hope I got the ministry right, was on TV last night, and he was advocating for this stadiums to be built elsewhere, and we want to be at the forefront. So another thing that we also got, the reason why we are here in Windhoek is there was an incident. We were invited as local authority councillors to attend the parliamentary inauguration as well as the presidential inauguration. And we came with the thought of we'll go back and come back for the presidential inauguration. And that's the day when the bridge collapsed. And then unfortunately, I could not attend the presidential inauguration. But it provided us with so much opportunity there is. It provided us with what can we do if these things happen?
Right.
And then we look at, we should make our town more vibrant, and what we thought is we have the land. So we are here in Windhoek to lobby for higher institutions, institutions of higher learning. We have meetings with all institutions of higher learning that we have scheduled. We have met one already yesterday, and they are very positive. We want to bring education to Riebehoff, because what do you have at the moment with Riebehoff learners? The Riebehoff Town Council offers registration fees every beginning of the year to the residents of Riebehoff that wants to study. We register them. But the challenge of not getting the NASFAF on time always discourages these learners to go back, because they have to now look for accommodation, and they have to look for transport money, although they have registered. So we decided, let's go out, let's get to the universities, and let's lobby so that they can come to us. We'll avail the land and at a lower price, or provide incentives, and then let's attract. That's the mission that we are here for, but in particular, we want that stadium.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay. Ms. Peters, would you like to expound on that?
Yeah, the collapse of the bridge, we were together in Windhoek, and as what was mentioned, when the bridge collapsed, we were homeless. We were stuck in Windhoek, and I basically were cut off also by, I have 3 children at tertiary education here, and they could not attend classes. I could not go home. So that has actually made us rethink. And as the president has also mentioned, it should be business unusual. And we had a discussion where we said we have to use this incident that has happened as a new beginning for Riebehoff. We need to expand our boundaries. We need to attract more investments to the town, so that we are not so reliant on the city. Because many learners could not go to school,
Absolutely.
tertiary education. And as Councillor Karisab has mentioned, we have learners that are in Rehoboth who are studying here, but the daily taxi transport, daily traveling to Windhoek.
Commuting, yes.
Imagine a mother of 3 children.
Each one of them
Each
has
one
to
of them
pay
traveling
the
to school.
financial implications.
Yes, and then accommodation. So some of us are in fortunate positions the way we can maybe afford or have jobs that can help us pay for these expenses. But there are mothers and there are people, parents out there who are unemployed, who can't even meet paying the basic services. So we are looking at ways how we can really develop our community and give back. So this is one of our key priorities, to bring tertiary education to Rehoboth. So we are here to go back with results.
Okay. No, that's good to hear. Indeed, it would really serve as a beacon, you see, because the services that the Rehobothers are seeking from the city of Windhoek, they too can have in Rehoboth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, now, Honorable Karisab, is there a strategy in place for encouraging sustainable land practice in the urban and rural areas of Rehoboth?
Yes, we did. We benchmarked with many of our peers. Some we learned from, some we were able to teach also. So Rehoboth Town Council always open to check and see what is the best practices and take those and then better them. So we have started on the formalizing of informal settlements, decongesting informal settlements, making sure that there are roads and basic service roads, electricity, sewage and water that we can incorporate into the informal settlements. So there is a clear strategy that we have in place. We have also, for land management, we have what we call usually people would come to us, present a project, and then we offer the land and nothing will happen, which eventually result in land banking. We have countered that. We said we came up with a policy, and after our land conference that we held, and then we said, oh, you are going to pay a certain amount of percentage just to make sure that you really want to kick off with this project, because, and then if you would not want to lose the money. So we also look at, is that project that you presented to us, do you have the financial means to actually do that, so that we can do away with land banking, so and our land can be usefully used and create income for the council, which will eventually go to the residents of Rehoboth.
Okay.
Yes, we have also introduced new processes.
All right.
Also, the new application forms and processes has been approved by council at the recent council meeting.
Okay.
So there are processes that are now in place. Before, we did not have processes in the land management, so we now have. And also, like was mentioned, there is a required 30% payment before applications are sent through to the ministry, because we had the issue of land banking. So currently, the processes are not as flexible as it used to be, but it is convenient. So we are looking into making it more affordable and accessible, but there are regulations that needs to be abided by.
Okay. Right. This is an interesting conversation. I love investment. I love that the Rehoboth Town Council individuals are quite, crafty in inviting, investors and making Rehoboth, an economic hub, if I can call it that, because as Honorable Jackie Karisab mentioned earlier, you are strategically located. Now, Namibia, if you're just tuning in, you are tuned into an information sharing session. And as always, we are coming to you live from the Government Information Center studio. And that is with me, Hileni Felipes Hamunyela. For this morning, I am joined in the studio by a team of well-versed experts from the Rehoboth Town Council, and they are here to just help us understand the Rehoboth Town Council's achievement during the period under review, and also the projects and everything else pertaining to investment. Now, you too can be part of this discussion by following this conversation on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. Now, on Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or if you are a YouTuber, you can stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. Be part of this conversation. I'm keen to hear from you as to what contribution you will make towards today's topic. Now, back to our discussion, Honorable Karisab. No, actually, Ms. Peters. I've come to realize about the oxidation ponds. Briefly, for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, when we say an oxidation pond, for those that are not quite certain, what are we talking about?
Oxidation ponds is should we call it the hub of our sewer rediculation, where our sewer rediculation ends,
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
We had a major challenge, especially during the rainy season. I think about a year ago, we had one of our main walls of the sewer oxidation ponds that has collapsed.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have...
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the assistance of our government, funds has been allocated, and we started phase 1 of the rehabilitation, and now we are currently busy with phase 2. The contractors are on site, and I think we have made great strides. Even the pump stations are now being attended to. We had a lot of sewer challenges a year ago, but now we basically are in the process of rehabilitating the system. As the town is growing, the needs for a bigger and more
Oxidation ponds
yeah,
also. Okay.
and pump stations.
Can add also there.
Okay, wonderful.
You know, we have been so lucky in the past financial year that the government has really invest or put in so much money in Rehoboth. As we are progressing with the conversation, you will hear in what projects the government invested in Rehoboth Town Council particularly. The oxidation ponds were, we had a feasibility study, and we said it will cost us $7 million. And when the actual contractors and actual work was taken into consideration afterwards, we were allocated the 7,000. We saw that it...
7 million.
7 million, sorry.
Yes, okay.
Thank you. And then we realized it is not enough. And then we went back to the government, and then they were very open, and then they assisted us. So that project, Rehoboth is a town that attracts a lot of people from different sides. Even people are decongesting from Windhoek to Rehoboth and relocating because of the cheaper lifestyle. So the town is growing, and therefore the oxidation ponds needs to be at a higher standard it can be. So that is how the government invested in these projects.
Okay.
Yes, if I maybe can
Yes,
add, with the assistance of the government and also the Environmental Investment Fund, the town is also now, we are busy with a strategy for waste management and also wastewater management. So we are really looking into going with the expansion. Like I mentioned before, Rehoboth Town Council is the blue-eyed child of government. So we are receiving great assistance, for which I really, on behalf of the residents of Rehoboth and the Town Council, will really applaud our government for assisting us to meet our mandate.
Okay. I did say you are crafty in the lobbying. You see, you are the blue-eyed child of the Namibian government. Take away there. Now, Honorable Karisab, away from government and I think the Environment Investment Fund, are there any other donors or funders that are also assisting you in in the expansion of the oxidation ponds?
Not specifically at the oxidation ponds, but the Rehoboth residents are proud people. They are people that has some tradition and heritage and cling to it. So other projects such as the Rio Spa, the community is taking initiative, and then they donate, and they contribute by their hands, and they are cleaning and all that. So we do have business people that relocated from Rehoboth, but they are from Rehoboth that contribute. We have the business community all over that also contribute to the projects that we have, not specifically to one project, but all over.
Okay.
And we also have GIZ on board.
Oh,
yes,
that's good to know. Now, Honorable Karisab, I'll stick with you. You've just now mentioned the Rio Spa Phase 2 project. Please briefly provide to us an update on the status of the Rio Spa Phase 2 project and its expected, completion timeline.
Rio Spa is, as I can say again, a traditional. You could not in the past, when we grew up in Rehoboth, you could not take Rio Spa away from the town Rehoboth itself. So it is a historical background. It is the only entertainment. It was the only entertainment center for Rehoboth at that time. And when we came into council, we embarked on reviving that.
Okay.
And the government, once again, the central government came in, and we presented our plan of renovation of the Rio Spa, and then the central government gave us 2 million to start with. And we constructed, that was now phase 1, we constructed the swimming pool, we cleaned everything up, and then the bright spots, the play parks, and everything was fine. Now, the government said after the phase 1, if they are satisfied, they will give us more funding for phase 2. And they did truly provide, again, 5 million for the phase 2. Now, this is phase 2. We are busy with phase 2, which will include the renovation of bungalows, which will include the renovation of the administration office. We are currently also engaging NWR for memorandum of understanding, for training of possible staff that will be there. And we are supposed to sign the memorandum of understanding yesterday, but the instrumental people, the BR, was not there, so therefore we extended that. So we are busy with phase 2. Phase 2 will commence very soon. The money has been made available to the council, and the phase 2 is the building and constructing and renovating of the bungalows and the administrative areas. So the expected date for opening is, we wanted to open so much now, but it cannot be possible because now we are moving to winter.
Right.
So we would want to continue after the council meeting. The decision was made that we would continue with the construction and renovations, and we'll open immediately after winter. Also, there is also possible partners in the form of Lions Club and many others that shown interest in Rio Spa, how they can help and assist us in making it a star attraction in our country. So we are open to that.
All right.
Maybe
Now,
in addition, the Namibian Investment Promotion Board is also assisting us in compiling investors' profile, and they will in particular assist, or they are assisting us with the Rio Spa business model. These are being run through the Public Relations Office, and we have bi-weekly consultative meetings with the promotion board where they assist us with getting a business model and getting other investors to Rio Spa. So by the end of this year, we are really looking forward to opening the doors to Rio Spa.
Okay. That is in about, is it 8 months? Okay. Now, Ms. Peters, I would like to stick with you. What specific improvements will the Rio Spa phase 2 bring to Rehoboth, and in terms of infrastructure, amenities, and service?
Phase 2 is the renovation of the bungalows. And if, like it was mentioned by Councillor Karisep, the community is very much involved in it. They assisted us even with the cleanup campaign voluntarily. They assisted us with donations from plants up to cement. There were so many needs, and the community really got involved. So, and it has also created employment. All the contractors that are working at the Rio Spa are from the local community, local contractors. Formal and informal.
Right.
SMEs and non-SMEs are involved in this. So, and it is, as it was said, there's no Rehoboth without Rio Spa. And this will basically attract more people. And I always say that in terms of local economic development, the opening of the Rio Spa will have a ripple effect on the town itself.
Absolutely.
Not just it being a tourism attraction, but also in terms of job creation, payment of services,
Right.
and having more people coming to our town.
Absolutely. Okay, now, Honorable Karisep, of course, these are the highlights of the opportunities, that the Rio Spa Phase 2 presents. Are there perhaps any challenges or delays that have been experienced as far as the implementation of the Rio Spa Phase 2 is concerned?
As I've said, Rio Spa Phase 1 was complete, and I think the funding that came from the government had some certain requirements which says that after you completed phase 1, we will only, if you are satisfied, give you phase 2.
Okay.
So we completed phase 1, we were waiting. The challenge was that we did not, the transition of government. So we could not get on time the government officials to come and check and whether we are on par So now we are looking at we are looking at phase 2, which will now give us time to build the bungalows and then provide accommodation and open it up. So the challenge is just that was from the government and time. The transition affected us really, but now we have to again link with the line ministries and then we will continue with them. Like, I would like to say it will not be the end of this year that we'll open the Rio Spa. We'll definitely do it after winter.
Okay.
So it will be earlier than that, and because the community is eager, and that's why they contribute and support, because they want this to be open. So it will not be the end of the year, it will be immediately after winter.
Okay. Exciting times to be a Rehoboth then. All right. Now, Ms. Peters, something very important has also been established in the Rehoboth Town Council, which is the Junior Council. Briefly explain the role of the newly established Junior Council in the Rehoboth Town Council.
Like I said, we adopted the mandate of business unusual, and we decided we're going to really do things different. And my portfolio councillor, I'm such a lucky official at Rehoboth Town Council. My portfolio councillor was the first and only junior mayor of Rehoboth.
Oh,
So he is instrumental in this establishment of the junior council. We have introduced the elected members from the various high schools. We introduced them on Wednesday to the council, and the inauguration would be end of April.
Okay.
And they will be responsible for the youth development programs. We are in consultation with other local authorities who has junior councils in place. So they will assist us with the constitutions,
So the benchmark.
basically, we are benchmarking.
Okay.
We have made a request to Swakopmund municipality. Hopefully, they will respond positively to assist us, because this is basically also one of our milestones that we have achieved in terms of local economic development and youth development programs. So they will be responsible for all our youth programs that we will be introducing as we go forward.
Okay. Now, Ms. Peters, what steps have been taken to ensure inclusivity, representation in the youth of all Rehoboth Town?
The council was not involved in the election.
Okay.
We have consulted with the schools, and the schools elected. I believe the schools also had their own strategy inside.
Okay.
So the names were nominated and submitted to the council. So it's totally independent. All we do is we introduced the concept, we gave it to the schools, and the names were given, and they will basically be running the junior council.
Okay. Now, I think I'd like to pose this one to Honorable Karisab. Honorable Karisab, will the Junior Council have any direct influence on the policy making or decision making in the town council?
Yes. As I've said previously, we are cascading all our plans from the NDP 6 and also from the manifesto of the governing party, which is the social contract between us, between the government and the people. Okay. So in that manifesto, youth empowerment is proposed to be on the forefront. And then that's why on that premises we started the Junior Council, and now I'm really lucky. Some 20 years ago, I was the first junior mayor of Rehoboth, and it provided so much opportunity to where I am now today.
Right.
So youth empowerment is a powerful tool, and we have embarked on it. And I think if I can add to how this representation was done or the election was done, usually it is based on school-going learners, and luckily I'm also a school principal in Rehoboth. So we are engaged in the election process was as democratic at schools, and the schools provided the names of those that came out of the selection process to the council. Now, how do they impact the council policy making? They are supposed to be focused on the youth issues and social evils in the town, and then they are going to propose. They are going to have their debates, and they are going to provide the policy and resolutions and recommendations that they make in their meetings to the council. And when they give it to the council, they can present it in two forms, through a submission to the administration or through a motion to the councillors. So if they think they want to talk about youth empowerment, they can give their recommendations to the councillors.
Okay.
The council will then table a motion, and then their projects and their ideas will now become policy if the council approve, and it becomes a policy. So it's not show. It's really, they are supposed to be there to make impact and on what is going on about youth development, and they need to make that impact through policy making, and that policy making eventually come from them to the town council councillors, and it will be implemented. Yes.
Okay. Now, Honourable Karisa, for Lena, I know that they are at school right now, but they may watch this later. For somebody that is interested in sitting in the position that you are at the moment, or that you were 20 years ago when you were the junior mayor, what is the process of, being elected as the junior mayor? What does the process entail? Sorry, this is a bit off topic, but I'm sure.
Yeah. After those names come to the council, then they will have the first. They were so lucky they observed our council meeting, I think, on Wednesday. They were able to observe the processes, and they were trained into the standing roles and of that house. So now, when they come into office, they will amongst themselves, because we need to maintain democracy throughout.
Right.
So they amongst themselves, they will have to now elect portfolio holders now. It is very crucial that when you are a young person, you need to be involved, not if you don't want to be actively involved in politics, you need to be involved in policy making, because these policies and decisions that are made now, or even if you go and just listen to what the council is doing, or the National Assembly, these policies will affect you. Some of us might not be here after 20 years, but you, as a young person, will be affected by the decisions that I made today. So it is crucial that young people should take interest in how their towns, their countries, their regions are governed. So I would encourage them to be part. And those that did not make it to the junior council, they can still follow. Next year, there's always opportunity in other avenues as well.
Okay.
I would maybe like to add to that it is part of our succession planning efforts.
Okay.
Because I personally believe that success is determined by what you leave behind.
Right.
If I do not leave the person that has been following in my footsteps to be better than I am, I've not been successful. So that is also the motive of Councillor Karisa to give back, so that what he has been, somebody must be proud to take in his footsteps. Absolutely. Like my parents used to say, be proud, work in a way that the person behind you should be proud to follow in your footsteps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Now, Ms. Peters, let me stick with you. Are there any ongoing programs or collaborations between the Junior Council and the community organizations?
At the moment, we have not, like I said, we started now. The inauguration would be in April, and then we will have the induction process, of which I'm also responsible. My office, basically the CEO office, myself, the LED officer, and the legal officer in the office of the mayor. So we will go through trainings and all that, and perhaps by October or so, we will start to reach out to our external publics. But right now, we are in our beginning stage.
Okay, infancy. All right. Now, Honourable Honourable Karisa.
Thank you.
Receive it in faith, hey? Receive it in faith. That only means
there's something coming.
It's a prophecy. Okay, now, Ms. Peters, what I understand that, or I'm able to understand that there is a street naming project that is also underway in the Rehoboth town. Now, what is the reasoning? Talk to us about the reasoning behind the renaming of two main roads in the town of Rehoboth. And maybe whilst at it, you can also tell us what they were, or how, what they are being named to now.
I would like to give that over to Honourable Karisa, because that was also his motion.
All right.
That is also his baby, so let him do that announcement.
Honourable, then take it away.
Good. We were able to, there's so much development going on in Rehoboth. We were able to, there was in 2019, Dr. Gekengop was in Rehoboth for drive-through of his campaign for the party. And in our engagements, I was now leading that program. In the engagements, he was saddened by the fact that the upper side of the town looked much acceptable, and the Block E side did not look that much attractive. And then his plea was to make it equal, or just improve Block E also. So and that drove me to try and improve. Not that I'm neglecting the other parts of the town, and we were able to tar the road, bring the road, the gravel road in front of the graveyard, passing through Rehoboth High School to Block E. We were able to move it to pavement state. So when we were now commissioning that road, we did not realize that we were doing it on the day of the passing of, a year after the passing of, exactly on the day, a year after of the passing of Dr. Hage Geingob. And then we realized, no, this is what he wanted to see when he visited Rehoboth. So I've handed in a motion that was accepted favorably by the council, and then I've asked for the renaming. That street did not have a naming of that street. It was known as D1210. So the naming of that street, it's a very long street. It comes from Banov side and it goes right through the location to Sunnyside. So that street will now be known as the Dr. Hage Geingob Street. We will commission that. It was just recently approved. And then I wanted to also get Namibia to know what Rehoboth is about. And we did not want to lose the history of Rehoboth. And that's why we decided to I also, in the same time, tabled a motion of honoring a great leader of the Rehoboth traditional authority that had made so much impact, not only into his community and ethnic group, which is the Basters, but also to us that were residents of Rehoboth by then. One of the contributing factors that I can say that are tangible that he made during his time of reign as a Baster captain was that he provided housing to other ethnic groups that we today call Hans Dirgat houses. So I thought it would be appropriate while we are honoring this great leader, which was our former president, to also honor our own, which is Captain Hans, the late Captain Hans Dirgat. So we have decided I have proposed to the council to decide to give him the longest street that is coming from the start of Rehoboth on the side of Echo, and then it goes right through the center of the town, through the Catholic Church, through Shoprite, goes past the Hendrik Hermanus van Wyk Hall, goes past the Voorman Brock, goes past. It's a longest road, and then we decided, I proposed, and it was accepted favorably by the council, and then we were able to rename that street, which was known as the Church Street, to Captain Hans Dirgat Street. So those are the motions, and I should thank my fellow councillors for accepting those motions, and in particular the mayor of the town, because when you as a councillor table a motion, it is the prerogative of the mayor to decide whether he accept or not. So I'd really like to thank my fellow councillors, and in particular the mayor, for accepting such a motion that I've tabled.
Absolutely. Would you like to expound more, Ms. Peter?
Not really, but this is also a tick off for the Rehoboth Town Council. For the street naming project, we will be electing a committee from the various blocks. This will be democratic. It's only these two main roads that the council used the prerogative to rename. But all the other streets, we will be announcing the election of the street naming committee through various consultations and public meetings that we'll be having in the different suburbs. So maybe the communities must already start identifying people that they would want to select to represent them on this committee that the council will introduce very soon. It's also a project that is coming through the Public Relations Office.
All right. Now, Honorable Karisab, how does the street naming initiative contribute to the cultural identity of Rehoboth?
Rehoboth must know where it is coming from. Rehoboth must know that we are union in diversity. The learners, the young children that are growing up must know that what significance efforts did these two great leaders make towards Rehoboth and Namibia as a whole. So the history of Rehoboth must be sustained and retold by us, and through the street naming, the legacy of leaders such as Captain Hans Diergaard and Dr. Hage Kenkop, may both their souls rest in peace, will be maintained, and learners or young people will question, who is this? What is this name about? And then the legacy and the history will continue, and people will have to tell them who these great leaders are and how they contribute to the town in particular and the nation at large.
All right. Thank you so much. And now, Honorable Karisab, I also want to pose you this question, please. Away from the naming of the street, what are some of the significant upcoming projects that, should be ticked off at the end of the year or the financial year in the Rehoboth Town Council's calendar?
Yes, we are actively involved. We are result driven. We would like to move away from debt. The utility bills are too high, and we have come up with a reservoir that will make it lighter for us not to depend that much on NamPower for certain locations, for certain suburbs. That is to be ticked off very soon. As I've said, we have identified in our plans that we would be tarring our roads or move it from to pediment stage. So we are beginning, tenders are out already for one road that is now what we call, Rehobothers will know, Loner Step through out to Block F. That one is now, tenders are out, I think they closed, and then we'll start soon with the construction of that road. We are looking at upgrading our sports facilities. We are looking at, there are many projects, the Rio Spa that will be completed. Also, we are looking now, when we came into office, we were unable to get a strategic plan. So we are very eager. When we leave office after this mandate of ours, the people that come in must have a strategic plan that aligns to the national development goals of the country. And that will cascade to the regional plans, and then that strategic goal is one of our achievements that we want to leave when we leave, when our mandate is end. So there's a lot that we need to achieve and have achieved already. So Rehoboth doesn't sit. Rehoboth is working. Rehoboth we want to account. When I leave office, or many of my fellow councillors leave office, we should be able to say, this is what we did in the time of my mandate, and we should also account for the bad parts that we could not manage or mitigate. So that is leadership. That is not only leadership for we should be able to acknowledge our faults, but also to celebrate our accomplishments.
Absolutely. Yes, Ms. Peters.
Like it was said, we are really busy. In terms of land management, there are major developments that are coming to Rehoboth. One such is a construction of a private hospital. Then there we have the Accra Hub. We are only waiting for the Roads Authority approvals that needs to come through for these projects to commence. And then we have the Rio Green Scheme, and then the agricultural plots that is also now currently the environmental scanning, all those were done. And now it is in its final stages. We have also all the other, most of the informal townships are now into formalization. That is in Block E, it's from Extension 1 up to Extension 17. And then Block H, it's from Extension 1 up to Extension 9 or 10. And then we have the formalization of the Burgershoek and Volksstraatflakte. That the verification process has also been completed now. And the approval of the urban planning board, that is basically pending. So there's a lot of, and then we have the Namzunga properties that is also going to be, it's also in its final planning stages. Then we have, today, we will be consulting with Ongos Valley, which has also shown interest in Rehoboth. So there's really a lot coming. Absolutely. So we're quite busy. The strategic planning is only not just the strategic plan that the Honourable Council has mentioned. we will be doing the development plan as well as the performance management system and the business process reengineering. So this is going to be a very busy year for Rehoboth, and it's going to be business unusual.
Absolutely. Over to you.
Yeah, I would like to also add the informal market that is supposed to be constructed in Block E is also at an advanced stage. Plans were drawn up, and today there is a meeting where the plans will be presented to council at 2 o'clock. So, and then it's a consultative process. Block E residents would know that we started, and then when we started with the consultations, we said, where do you want this to be? Because most of the time you would build an informal market somewhere, and then people are not coming, and then it becomes a white elephant. So we started the consultation progress and took along the community as we went, and now we are at the planning stage. Plans have been drawn. Now we need to table that to the community to get their approval.
That's brilliant.
Because they're the end users of that that building. So today, 2 o'clock, we have a meeting where the informal plans will be presented to councils, and after that we'll have a community meeting, and then if the community approves, we'll start with construction. So there's a lot happening, and Rehoboth Town Council really, we don't sit. We want to, after this mandate period, we want to say, this is what we are doing. Now, the next people that takes over, please continue. Although we also must acknowledge we have our shortcomings as well, like any other entity.
Okay.
Maybe also to mention, there's been a burning issue, which is also a national challenge. It is the NEM water and NEM power bills, which we know most villages are suffering from it. So Rehoboth Town Council has now gone completely prepaid with NEM water and NEM power. So we are basically depending on our residents to pay and buy.
Right.
So that we are able to provide water and electricity. So we are now in a prepaid system, and also the council is in the process, with the assistance of government again, to turn the whole of Rehoboth into prepaid. We will have consultative meetings with the community. We will introduce which areas will be identified first. We already have Block E, the alienation houses are completely prepaid, but all the other suburbs we are doing away with conventional metering systems, both water and electricity. So that is also, as we move, we have to also attend to our challenges.
Okay.
But I would like to call on our residents, and not just Rehoboth, but all our communities in local authority areas, that basic services, as much as it is a basic right, we are responsible for it.
Absolutely.
So please pay for your usage. When you use your water, remember to pay for it. Let the DSTV and Lewis payments not be your priority, because you can't be without water. You can't be without electricity. So please help us ease the burden, not just the councils that we are residing in, but the government as a whole. Let us pay and be responsible for our water usage.
Absolutely. Now, before I can accord you the floor, Honorable Karisab, time really does fly when you are most having fun, and we've really run out of time. Maybe as you give your final remarks of this discussion, you can just include that thought that you were holding on to.
Good. No, I just wanted to add that mitigating factors are being taken by the council. We are cognizant of the fact that we are one of the councils that owes the non-powered water that much. But as I've said previously, metering, again, the government came in. They offered us a lot, I think how many million, I'm not sure the exact amount, to buy metering, prepaid meters, and then that's for water, and then we, for electricity as well, and then we are mitigating. And the other part is, I would like to thank the residents of Rehoboth for entrusting this council that is coming from diverse backgrounds, but were able to provide what we could. And we'd like to take hands and take Rehoboth to the next level. We are not going to leave Rehoboth after our mandate period the way we found it. We are going to leave it better. That will be my remarks.
All right. Thank you so much. Ms. Peters, you have the last say.
Thank you. When I came to Rehoboth some 8 years ago, the first word that came to my mind was cohesion. And I'm so impressed by how this community stand together. And I would like to encourage our residents to keep keeping that cohesion together, the unity in diversity. That's our slogan also.
Right.
One can see and feel it if you come to Rehoboth. And it became home. To me and to many others, it became home. So I would like to really thank the people of Rehoboth, the council, the leaders that we are working with, as well as the staff members of Rehoboth. We may not be where we want to be, but we have made great strides. So let's continue being servants of the people that have elected us into position, and also for the staff members of Rehoboth Town Council, let's not get tired of doing good. Let's keep being servants of the people that we represent.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, Honorable Karisab and Ms. Peters, let me just pause here to thank you all so much for coming out here, for taking time off your busy schedule. I know that the two of you are very busy. I know that the portfolio of public relations or corporate communication is quite busy. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please do not get tired when we knock on your doors. And I am so proud that, and like I've earlier on mentioned, that you are so crafty in your, in lobbying, in making sure that investment activities are happening in the town of Rehoboth, and that after all, the economic activities are really impactful. Thank you so much for making our time to come and speak to the GIC viewers and listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Namibia, that concludes today's information sharing session. That was live from the Government Information Center studio with me, Hileni Felipo Samunyela. From all of us, please take care. See you next time.